Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today, boys, we did it again. We had two girls on the podcast. We had Abby and Claire to talk about Boston Dodgeball League in general, but more specifically the showdown this weekend. Before I cut it to the intro, I'm sorry, could not get my mic to work, so had to deal with the AirPods again. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Bromance. I'm Ryan, and today I got the Boston girls on with me, Abby and Claire. How we doing, ladies?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It is almost Friday. I worked 12 hours today and got a massage, so feeling
So
pretty good.
you're ready for dodgeball this weekend.
I would like to think so. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
You're playing in both, right? The USA round and ours?
Yes, yep,
That's exciting.
have to.
That's exciting.
How
Weekend.
about you, Abby? How's everything going with you?
Everything's good. A lot of I guess fires to put out today with just preparing for the tournament and getting ready, but no, everything's good.
That's good. I have a bunch of questions later to ask about the tournament and organization of it. But before we get into it, how was our July 4th weekend? Do anything special or?
Just hang out with friends and had a good time.
Not
Nothing crazy.
particularly. Yeah, I had a sick kiddo, so I was playing nurse to him all 4th of July weekend.
I was trying to think about this. Is this Julian's first July 4th or a second?
Second, we did go
Second.
out and see fireworks last year, but we could not do it this year because he was a little contagious. So it was
Mm,
not worth the community spread that came with it.
no, no. How old is he? He's almost two?
He's 14 months. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
So a
t
little over one. Yeah.
terrible twos right around the corner.
Yes, he's moments away from walking, but not quite
Oh,
there yet. Yeah.
that's awesome. We're teaching
Yep.
Caden right now how to roll over, and he's got that down, and we're teaching him how to crawl. So
Yeah. Yeah. How old is
Did you
Kate
guys
again
take him
now?
out to see fireworks?
Yeah.
he's 5 months old.
Yeah.
No, precious. Did he see fireworks? Did you guys take him out?
No, we put him in bed by like 6, so
Get the little baby earmuffs and bring them out.
yeah,
They're
we could
great.
honestly.
The baby earmuffs have been so good because like Julian's been to a ton of tournaments and that's what's gotten him through like the long days is like the baby earmuffs, the noise canceling, and then he's just out even in the middle of like a gym. So it's been awesome.
I can imagine like I'll see sporting events and like there's like little babies there with their earmuffs on. And I'm just like, how much noise could that block out? But if
I think
you're
a
at a
little bit.
sporting game with that on, then I'm sure it blocks out a lot.
Yeah.
Let's get into dodgeball questions though. So I have some general question for you ladies, and then we'll move into the Boston Dodgeball League stuff, and then we'll go into the throwdown, and then we have like 15 questions from the people.
Wow. That's a lot
Hi.
more than I expected.
Um, so let's start off with this. We'll go Claire then Abby. How did you get into dodgeball?
I got into dodgeball by way of Vola, which is like a social sports company in Boston. I when I first moved to Boston, I did a lot of different sports. So I did kickball, I did softball, I did flag football, I did bocce, and then eventually I was like, I'm gonna give dodgeball a try. I worked for Volo too, so I was also hosting leagues, and that's kind of how I got into playing some of the dodgeball. And I decided like I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna join for a whole season. So I played dodgeball, and then with more of the like competitive side, USA, I had been playing in our kind of local recreational league that existed at the time. It still exists, but I don't participate in the Volo League anymore. But then Kate Cairns, who was the president of USA Dodgeball at the time, was like, "There's a dodgeball tournament happening in Boston in like 2 weeks." This was in 2022. She's like, "I know a girl from the West Coast who's trying to put together a free agent team. You seem like you're having a lot of fun. Do you want to play?" So they can put together a team. And that was the beginning of my USA Dodgeball journey, was back in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was that girl? Who was that West Coast team?
It was Whitney Pittman. We were a
Oh,
free agent team called Huntress. Also on that team was Tara Pang. Her first like
Oh,
debut at USA Dodgeball was the same tournament that I was playing in. So it was a
wow.
good time. Yep.
Yeah, sounds like a fun team. How about you, Abby?
Mine was kind of same thing. I'm a very stagnant person, in general, and so I figured I would join something, kind of get out there. So I joined Volo and played dodgeball as a joke initially. Everyone like was like, the movie, and I was like, there's no freaking way that adults are playing dodgeball. Um, I showed up, people were playing dodgeball that were adults. And we played, well, the first league that I played was at Aeronaut, which is a brewery. So it was like very small, like cement ground walls that like I think it's like what, maybe a 15-foot throw line.
Something like maybe 20, but it's very small.
Maybe 20.
Wow.
It's very dangerous. People were there for vibes. It was a good time. But no, I got into competitive dodgeball actually through Danny Stein. Um, so he convinced me to go out and play, and Jessie Nakano was the one who kind of gave me my first start. So I owe a lot to her. She's wonderful and a great friend of mine.
Hell yeah. Is SBS still a thing up there?
So that's that
Yes.
that was what Volo was. So Volo, which is like a national company, bought
Hmm.
SBS
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
post COVID. So I joined playing with them in like 2020, and that was like the last season they were branded as SBS, and
uh-huh.
then they switched over fully to like the Volo branding in 2021.
Okay.
Yep.
Do they have Waka up there?
There is
Hmm.
Waka. Yep.
Okay. Is Waka super popular up there too?
I think so. I mean, Brandon Johnson and Nick Scally play in Waka, and they've been bringing a couple of their players to come play with us.
We actually have
Um,
a whole team in our BDL league right now that came all from Waka,
yeah.
too. Yeah, but the Waka format is like 16v16 total gym wall to wall up here.
Hmm. Money
So
grab. There was a Waka dodgeball in Connecticut, but I don't think it's a thing anymore, and it's more of just like kickball and volleyball now.
Mm.
But I don't mess with either of those sports. Claire, how long have you been playing dodgeball for?
I think 4 years. I think I first started my first league that I ever played in was like summer 2021, but I'll say like four with an asterisk because I did have like a 9 month period where I wasn't really playing at all. I was actually throwing the entire time that I was pregnant and I was working on like my arm strength skill, but I couldn't fully like play. And I tried to stay involved in like refing and like going to tournaments and stuff still, but 3 years of actual playing, and then there was a skill building phase in there. So
Okay.
yeah.
How about you, Abby?
I'm trying to look. I think 2.5 years, I think.
Oh,
Like
really?
I'm horrible with time. Yeah, so I want to say it's about 2.5 years. That sounds about right. I'm trying to look for like a picture and I'd like find a timestamp
I
and
have the picture of like your first league still on my phone. And I think it was like summer
3, I think it
2023.
was.
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I found it like
Been almost
a
3 years, I want to say.
couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first tournament, Abby?
Cleveland. So I think it's been, yeah, it was Cleveland.
Like not this past year, right?
No, no, last one. So I haven't been playing that long.
Okay. Already asked that. All right, so you girls haven't been playing for too long, but what's the coolest city that you think that you've played dodgeball in or visited?
For me, I think Vegas was super fun because I went to nationals in 2022. I had never been to Vegas before, so it was like a nice excuse to like get out to the West Coast, and then was kind of like a whole trip of it. I was playing with a lot of people from DC, so I was playing with like Pofo, Jesse Nakano, um, Roddy. We were all playing together. So it was fun to also just get to explore the city with them a little bit on like our downtime. So it was a good mix of like going there to play dodgeball, but also getting to kind of explore and adventure a little bit.
And that was your first time out in Vegas?
That's my first and only time in Vegas so far was
Oh, I was just
for
gonna ask.
nationals. Yeah, I'm itching to go back, but
Okay.
have not planned that yet.
Gotcha. I've been there 3 times now, and the first time I was 18, so that was cool as shit. The second time I went for the Sin City tournament. So the first time I
Mhm.
went for UDC qualify, not qualifier, but UDC in general. The second one I went for Sin City, and the third one was Sin City, and I brought my wife, and that's definitely not her vibe. Like, she went to the tournament and she brought a book, and I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea.
I feel like people love or hate, like I don't enjoy Vegas. My parents have a home out there, so I fly there often, and I like it's not my scene.
Yeah, me neither. Not really. I think it's cool to go to once. Like everyone should
Right.
go to
Yeah.
Vegas once.
Yeah, I agree.
How about you, Abby? What's the coolest city you've been to?
Um, I think coolest, I mean, pre-dodgeball, I used to travel. I mean, I still travel, but I travel a lot for fun. So I don't like, I think all the cities that the tournaments have been in have been cities that I've been to. So I don't know, but I would say like by far my favorite tournament is Dodgeball Toronto. Like regardless of the city or where it is, but it's just one of my favorite events. So I try and make it a point to go to like mid-season or kickoff. Because it's just one of the best tournaments out there.
Coming up very soon too?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next weekend, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So semi-pro was originally Saturday, and then they pushed it to next or the week after.
Yeah.
I think half of the players in semi-pro were not able to attend the original date. So
Yeah, that's why it's a Sunday now, but
yeah.
it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Claire, are you going to is it mid-season, right?
Yeah, mid-season. Yeah, I'm going for the first time. So it's my going to be my first time in Canada in general, and then my first time at a Dodgeball Toronto event. So I'm playing with the women's free agent team, and then I'm playing with Boston Heist for mixed open, and I'm actually captaining that squad for mixed.
Okay. I feel like Boston has a pretty good showing at these Toronto stuff.
Yeah, usually we've split into two teams pretty much now for some of the like Dodgeball Toronto tournaments and some of the other tournaments as well. So our there's Boston Heist and now there's Sinister too that play. So we have a different mix of players on each team. Boston Heist for Dodgeball Toronto, actually we have 4 Canadians that are joining us from different provinces. And then we have Zach Demaala from California who's going to be playing with us as well for mixed open.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized when we were in Seattle where Vancouver was because it was so close to Seattle. And I'm like, I should probably kind of know where the other like cities are in Canada. Like I know Toronto's very close to New York.
To us. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know where anything else is.
Yeah.
No, I don't think,
Manitoba's
yeah.
like in the middle, I think. Manitoba's in the middle and Calgary's in the middle from what I know, but I'm not an expert on Canadian geography.
They definitely have some cool city names for sure.
Yeah.
Um, what is some advice you wish you could give yourself when you first started playing? Let's start with Abby.
Ooh. Um, I guess just not to throw balls recklessly. Um, I think, when everyone first starts, it's like throw all the balls that come and like, and I think the other thing is be open and listening to more veteran players because they know what's going on and like I've heard that when newer players come play with us, they think that we play really slow. Um, which is always interesting to hear because I think we don't play slow. I think we play with strategy. So it comes off, especially when we're playing with different people who we've never played with together, the strategy piece makes it seem like we're playing slow. So yeah, I guess it would just be to not lose ball control and throw balls whenever they come because that was definitely at Aeronaut and Volo was definitely like a wall ball situation. So
Yeah.
I could definitely see that because like when we have really big open gyms at Nutmeg, so like not what's currently going on, but the open gyms before that, there would be people coming from other leagues. And you could just walk into the gym, not know anyone, and be like, these 12 people are new, and these 28
yeah,
other people have been playing for a while.
right.
Hmm. How about you, Claire?
Um, I think most of my advice to myself would have to do with like my feet. So I was wearing the worst shoes at first, and that made a huge difference. I was wearing running shoes because I didn't know better. I wore running shoes to nationals in 2022, and then I lost a toenail shortly thereafter.
Mm.
But then Decker was like, I asked Decker because I knew Decker was like a seasoned player. I didn't know him as well at the time, but I was like, what are you like? What shoes would you recommend? Like, because my feet have been killing me. And so he recommended basketball shoes, or just like court shoes in general. So I kind of made the switch, and I've definitely seen an improvement in like my ability to like move on the court. But then also just watching my feet in general. I used to get a lot of lineouts, and I still was guilty of a lineout last night at our local league. But it's improved, and I've like known the boundaries and like the space that I'm playing in a lot better, and just being more like aware. And I wish that that was something that like I would have done sooner. It's just being more aware of like my space, my surroundings, the other players on the team too, like screening your teammates.
Hmm.
Because again, it's just like I didn't know to stay in my lane, and now that's one of the very first things that like I try to tell newer players too. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice. Decker was probably like, hey, just buy these size 18 shoes. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when I first started playing court, because I played Sky Zone for like
Mm.
4 years, and it's just Sky Socks. So when I
Mhm.
first started playing court, I was wearing like Nike Roshe Runs. I don't know if you guys remember those
Oh, okay.
shoes. For
Yeah.
years, like they're such a cool looking shoe, but I looking back at it, I'm like, man, that was such a rookie thing.
I think I was wearing I don't remember what they were. They were Nikes too, but they had those like big bottoms that were like rounded. Definitely not great for dodgeball.
No, do you guys stick to like a particular shoe now?
I have gone through series of it. I wore Stewies for a while, like the Puma Stewies. And then I switched to Tatum's, and now those are so difficult to find in stock anywhere. So I don't even remember what the shoes are now, but I just bought new shoes before Minnesota at the Nike store, and I don't recall what they are off the top of my head.
Hmm.
But I've been trying to switch. I stick with one for a while and like get comfortable in it. So.
I'm the same way. How about you, Abby?
When I first started, like, and I switched to basketball shoes, I was wearing the Yannis. But I was blowing through the sides I blew through, I think, like two or three pairs within a year. So I switched. Yeah, I don't know. I think they were just poorly made. Um, and I switched to Way of Wade's, and I like those much better.
Okay. So I used to wear Kyrie's a lot, and right now I'm on my like LeBron next gen phase. So
Mm.
like I'll buy a pair of shoes, wear it for like 6 months, buy another pair of shoes, wear the same exact pair of shoes, like the same color. So you'd think I'm wearing the same shoes the whole time. I'm not. I just bought like two or three of them.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes you have to because they either go out of stock or they become hard to find. Um, but
The way Waves though, they do look very clean.
I do like, and I like how they feel. Yeah,
I see a lot of players starting to wear those too.
they last
Uh,
longer. They're very durable.
I could see that for sure. All right, so let's move into some questions about BDL. So, when was BDL started and how was it started?
I think it was started, actually, honestly, huge shout out to Garrett. Garrett was the one that kind of brought us all together, and said, hey, there's a need for more competitive dodgeball in the Boston area. Um, so he brought it was a bigger group that has since dwindled down to now the six of us, but it was about, I think, August of 2024, yeah? No?
No, it would have been before that because that was when we held our first tournament.
Oh,
So
yeah. So about 6 months before that, I
it would have
think.
been like March, April 2024 is when we got
Yeah.
like serious about um running open gyms and doing
Yeah.
tournaments and like forming a business. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are officially an LLC. Um, but yeah, it really grew from, so I haven't been playing dodgeball for that long, but from what I understand, the Boston scene, I mean, you know this, but the Boston scene, dodgeball scene was really big and really competitive back in the day, like the Royale
Mhm.
girls. Um,
Davis boys.
Davis boys
Yep.
dominated. And I think from what I understand, I wasn't around, but once COVID hit, a bunch of people retired or a bunch of people stopped traveling, and Boston dodgeball scene just kind of died. Um, and so when that died, I think a lot of the players that wanted to continue playing either kept traveling or started playing Volo, which was previously SBS. And those like more competitive players were kind of beating the shit out of these social rec players. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse on here.
Shit
Uh,
fuck, shit fuck.
um, yeah, and so I think it was kind of pushing away the players who were just there for fun because who wants to go there and like, get beat on? And so it wasn't as competitive for those players, not as fun for the rec players. And so we kind of came together to form a league that was more competitive based. We welcome everybody, but
Yep.
the focus is to grow the competitive aspect of Boston Dodgeball again.
Yeah, because some of the issues that we were facing and the holes that were there too was just like rule sets and inconsistent reffing, which is no fault of anyone. Like, when you have a mixture, a wide variety of players, you have to balance them having a good time with,
Right.
providing quality dodgeball. So there was that balance
Volo.
that had to be
Yeah.
held. Yeah, exactly. Within Volo, you don't want to turn away the players that are there for the more social aspect, but you want to also be able to cater to the ones that are taking, the sport a little bit more seriously. So we aim to fill the hole that we saw for taking the sport a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, like Volo was using what was the old no sting rules, but with foam balls.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it made sense because it makes it easier for newer people to count burden and to make sure that the games are running. But it throws off a lot of people.
We also used to play with 8.25-inch foam balls too at Volo.
Ew. Ew.
Eventually, we switched to 7-inch foam. That was like a hurdle to get over when we switched from 8.25 to 7. And then the rule set changes kind of came a little bit later. Yeah,
Yeah. Like Volo, they also don't rush for the balls.
yeah.
So there's just a lot of, and I think that's a safety thing, but there's a lot of differences between Volo and BDO.
There's also a no headshots rule.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I first started playing at Sky Zone, it was 5 on 5, 5 balls, two on either side. You rush for the ball in the middle,
Mhm.
8.25 foam, and so this is when I first started playing. Every ball had 10 seconds on the ball. Every ball. So like,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So that was gross. So I'm like very happy with the dodgeball that I get to play now. What type of balls do you guys play with in BDL?
Largely foam. We're trying to grow the cloth aspect, which has been a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, sorry, it's no no sting. I know Flight loves no sting. We
True.
we do not do no sting. Bo's been really pushing for it. He really wants Bo Sting in Boston,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we do not touch that ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's largely foam. We do cloth open gyms once a week. We would like to continue to expand that cloth. Oh,
Once a
sorry,
month.
once a month, sorry. We would like to continue to expand that, but it's more kind of gaining more interest amongst our local players before we kind of take the next step. But long-term goal, I would like to host a cloth tournament eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
we're mostly foam.
Yeah. Our
Okay.
leagues and our tournaments are all foam right now.
Yeah.
Cloth is like kind of starting to gain a little bit of traction in Connecticut, thanks to Garrett. Garrett wants to bring the cloth balls out all the time and play with
Well, you
them.
guys have
But
Ashley Elder too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Ashley, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you know me, I do not fuck with cloth at all.
The new Baden cloth balls, I had so much difficulty playing with them in Minnesota, and I was starting to like cloth, and the new ball, like I have
There's
so
no
much trouble
nipple.
gripping them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have so much trouble gripping them. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like figure this out. So I don't know if that's something I'm gonna touch again for the time being.
I heard a lot of people saying that they like the old balls better just because of the no
Yeah.
nipple aspect. But
Yeah.
I also heard that the balls are stickier, the new ones.
They
So
are.
I
They definitely are. Yeah.
They also absorb more water though, I think. Like they were very wet. So yeah.
yeah, that couldn't be me. All right, and one last question about BDL. What made you guys want to take the jump from running open gyms to actually running seasons?
I think there was just a need for it. That was kind of always the long-term goal. It was to run seas leagues, but I think our biggest issue with that was finding venues. We started off in TJL, which is a small, like half basketball court. Um, Quickly outgrew that, moved to a different school, and then ended up moving to a different school in the hopes that that was a little bit bigger, but it wasn't as big as we had hoped, so we can't run two courts. So we've been in the process of searching for a bigger venue for like 3, 4 months at this point. We just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're having a tough time kind of maintaining that growth. But yeah, it was always when we came together as BDL, it was kind of always the goal to be running leagues at least.
Yeah.
The tournaments have been great though, so but leagues was always kind of like the big
Yeah.
primary goal.
In order to like make the leaps too from like open gym to leagues, we were looking for like a measure of like regular attendance too, I
Yeah.
think. Like once by the time our open gyms were getting to like 28 to 32 people a week, kind of on a consistent basis. And obviously we would get, occasionally players from Connecticut that would come up or Long Island. But once we got to a weekly, um, head head count or player count that was high enough for the open gyms too, that kind of fortified our like desire to then commit to doing the league once we got the space secured and we got the insurance in place and all of those like bits and pieces. So
I should have asked this earlier, but you guys mentioned a core six. So who was the other four?
Bo, who does a lot of our social media and sponsorship and networking. We have Decker, who is our our director of culture. He appointed himself that title, and I love it.
Director of culture.
Director of culture.
yeah,
He's basically the guy who handles like if there's any issues that arise, any like sportsmanship, any conduct, player conduct, um, things like that.
yeah,
Then we have Jess, who is our CIO. So she does
yeah.
a lot of our tech-based things, the website. She does our stream. And then we have Dave, who is our CFO. So he does all the money, and the financial aspect.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's definitely good to have a committee, for sure, because I think for it to be honestly a burden for one or two people is a lot of stress, and I feel like that's how people get burnt out for sure.
Right.
Okay, so you guys have your rec days and then you have your open gym days. So the open gyms are still on Sundays?
Open gyms are still on Sundays. We have a hiatus for now. So we took off the month of July, but we will come back, I believe, for August. Um,
Yeah, July there was just so much competitive dodgeball and then a holiday weekend in there that we knew that our turnout was going to be so low. So we gave that kind of built-in break, one for ourselves, and then also just for the players too, because a lot of them are traveling.
I definitely feel that because since the end of the last nutmeg season, I played one time and that was in Seattle, and I was like, thank God there's not any dodgeball right now.
yeah. Yeah, and it becomes a lot. Like we've been talking about this too, but with all the competitive tournaments, with Open Gym and with League, one of us has to be there all the time at these things, and it just becomes sometimes a lot to maintain. So we definitely needed a little bit of a break for July.
For sure. All right, let's get into some questions about the throwdown. Explain to me what the throwdown is.
Claire, you want to take it?
Sure. Yeah. So the Throwdown is a draft tournament, foam draft tournament. It started in, this is the fourth edition. So it started in August of last year. We started with only a 6 team draft tournament, and now we're doing a 16 team draft tournament with captains from all up and down, mostly the East Coast. But we have
Including
players,
Ryan, who we're so
including
lucky to
Ryan.
have
Yes,
twice.
exactly.
This is the second
Yeah,
time captaining for
repeat
us, so
captain.
thank you.
Um, but it's a draft tournament. So the goal is to one, bring players from Boston out to experience again like a more competitive format that we're not normally seeing in our market, but then also to drive players to the East Coast to come up and also play with people that you're not normally playing with. A lot of these tournaments that we travel to are, you bring your own team, you maybe pick up a free agent or two if your regular roster can't make it. But we added kind of the social aspect and trying to make things even and competitive through the draft format. So we really want the exposure for people to build new skills, build new community, and then we have a great after party relationship with Roundhead Brewing that's next to us as well. So this is the third time they're going to be hosting our after party for us, and so we have that kind of social aspect built in afterwards for the throwdown too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think
So
oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's really cool to have more seasoned players or who are more who are competitive, who play in
Yeah.
the competitive field, um, kind of either be captains or be part of the draft. Because I know like Brandon Johnson got the opportunity to play with DeMonte last
Yep.
tournament, and I had asked him, I was like, "Do you know who DeMonte is?" And he goes, "I think I've seen him on Instagram, like something." Or and he DeMonte shows up, and he's like, Brandon's like, "Holy shit, this guy is amazing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, he got the best hands." Probably in like what the world.
Yeah.
Easily top three. Easily.
Right. And
But
so
yeah, say as someone who was on that team too, like because I was also on that team, it was just very refreshing too. Like DeMonte came in and just like really was supporting everybody
right.
on the court, which was like really exciting. Like high-fiving people even when they got out because he's like, "You did this great and you did this great." So it was really fun to like see that, like that level of player like really being
Right.
involved in the community.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I've heard like great things about your captainship too, Ryan.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the players really loved having you captain and bring the team. Like they were talking a lot about your positive energy, your experience that you bring. So we're just really grateful and really excited that you agreed to captain for us again. So thank you.
And your
Yeah, of
Powerpuff
course.
Girl jerseys were fire. So
Yeah. They were the most, I think I told you this, but they were the most popular by far. A whole bunch of people ordered them.
Shout out Nicole because I was definitely harassing her on getting those designs.
I
But
had told you, I was like, Ryan, I don't think you understand. You need to keep this simple.
yeah, but she pulled through. We got it. We got the jersey. Yeah, no, I definitely like the aspect of the draft. I wasn't sure how I originally felt about it, but I would say the team I had the last tournament was a lot of Connecticut people, which is
Mhm.
fine. But the team I have going into this weekend, like I'm playing with Mackenzie for the first time ever,
Mhm.
and I also get to
First
play
time. That's surprising.
ever, yeah, and I also get to play with her on Saturday too. So,
Nice. Oh, for NPCs.
yep. So it's gonna be fun. And then I get to play with Ryan Fricker again,
Nice.
old Impact player, and then I get to play with Brandon Mazzata, who is from Connecticut, was on Dream for a while. So I get to play with people who haven't played with before, or even like Max Pags. He's from Connecticut.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely like the whole idea of it being a draft.
Yeah, and I think it makes it a little bit more. I know there's mixed feelings about it because some people are like, well, it's not that competitive. But I think it makes it honestly more competitive because the teams are as uh we try to make them again like as even as possible. So it's competitive in the sense that there's no one team that is super stacked and goes in and dominates and is a shoe in to win. I think with draft tournaments, you kind of never really know who's going to win, and it's kind of fun to make bets and see how it goes. But
We got bookies for this tournament.
Maybe
uh,
maybe Mitch and I will make a side bet because he and I are, non-player observers because Mitch will be there streaming and I'm the tournament director. So maybe he and I will get something going off to the side.
Oh, okay, okay. So let's talk about that right now because I have it in my notes, but it will be streamed this weekend on,
Dodgeball
Yes.
live, yes.
Dodgeball Live Court 2. Yep.
so check it
Yeah.
out. What goes into scheduling and organizing a tournament?
Oof.
I know this is like a
A
very broad question,
lot.
but
Yeah, so it's honestly about a six. So our last tournament was what, February?
Yeah.
And I will say 2 days after that tournament ended is when I started designing the jerseys for this tournament. So it's kind of all gas, very minimal breaks. But it's to plan a tournament, it's probably like I can be a little bit, and Claire knows this, but I can be a little bit more on the OCD slash over prepared side, just because there are so many things that could go wrong. Um, that we
For example, last tournament I forgot to bring one of the two TVs.
Yes. So that is one, like, we had ordered something for the tournament that we needed to use for wire management, and it's like cancerous. Like it is sitting in my garage right now and it stinks to the high heavens. So we're not using that. But it's just like things that you can't predict. Like who could predict that car ramps would smell that bad? You know what I mean? So it's like little things that could go wrong that I really try my best to avoid. Um, but it's probably about a 6-month planning period from when we create the registration form. And a lot of people also don't know this, but we tend to have schedules made before draft happens so that
Yep.
there is no bias. And any, so we do it like team A, B, C, D, all the way through 16, and then we just randomize it, and then we assign teams in
Yep.
alphabetical order to team A, B, C, D. So it's all super random. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I would say it's about like a 6-month long process, from start to end.
Yeah. The scheduling of like the teams itself in terms of like gameplay was a bit of a process for this as well because we were using, we're using Dodgeball Hub on some of the back end. But because of the number of teams and the number of round robin, some of the features, aren't fully supported in Dodgeball Hub right now. I have like cross pool play scheduled in. So there's like pool one and pool two. And I had to make sure that each team has an equivalent number of games, that we have matches in there that we can look to for head to head seating if we need to when we get into tiebreakers. So it took a lot of like cross logic on the back end for me too to figure out exactly how the schedule was going to work. And also making sure that each team got on the stream court at least one time while not making every team always go from court one to court four, because the venue is a little bit smaller in terms of the off the court space. So I wanted to be cognizant of the flow of traffic as well for the interim.
Yeah, we're probably not gonna be able to host another tournament. This might be likely our last one at this venue, because we have outgrown this space,
Unless we
unfortunately.
do a small cloth tournament, then we could definitely
Cloth
use
we could, yes, yes, cloth we could definitely do there, but I think our next foam draft tournament, like Dylan's already been texting me and saying that he wants, he's like, you gotta let me know when the next one is. I can get all USA captains, like we can duke it out, like it'll be really exciting. So he's already got big plans. Like he's been a really big supporter
yeah.
of BDL, so I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Dylan's trying to get a USA practice out here in New England.
Instead of what, Kansas City
Yeah,
or
it's Kansas City right
Kansas?
now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Missouri. Currently in October.
yeah.
But yes. But yeah, no, there's so much that goes into it for sure. Just from the outside looking in, like there's a Zoom, there's figuring out who your captains are, figuring out registration, the balls, the tape, like literally everything.
The
Yeah.
balls are the easy part for us right now because
Do you
we
Yeah,
want
we
to
ordered.
explain why?
well, we both ordered 600 balls. Way back when. And
Like
so,
last summer, yeah.
yeah, so we've just been slowly going through.
That's
So,
why I got one right now.
yeah, so those haven't been a problem. We just have a massive collection of dodgeballs sitting
Yeah.
somewhere.
And you guys also sold out pretty early, right?
For men in
Yeah.
under 3 hours, which is wild. And then for all other spots, oh, Claire, you also didn't talk about, so our tournament's a little bit different in the sense that we have a 2-2-2 ratio,
Oh, yeah,
not a 3-3 ratio. And I think that confuses some people.
that's true.
But so like, yeah, if anyone's watching on the stream, they might be confused by the ratios, but it's a 2-2-2 ratio where it is a requirement of a minimum, oh, well, yeah, a minimum of two males, a minimum of two females, and then two any. And that was with the intention of kind of creating a more inclusive space for our um, non-binary players so that they didn't feel like they needed to fit within one specific gender or the other. Um, and so with the 2-2-2 ratio, you could have, four males, two females, four females, two males, two males, two females, two non-binary players. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys honestly have not or could not have picked a better weekend to host this with the USA tournament being on Saturday and then your tournament being on Sunday.
That was immediately in Kansas City last year when they previewed the schedule for what it was
Oh
going to look like.
yeah.
Immediately, I was sitting there at the bar when they were releasing the schedule, and I immediately was like, it's a 1 day tournament. We should try to host something on
Yeah.
Sunday. And I started planting seeds and like trying to gather interest, like at nationals to see if people would come out for it. So it was very intentional.
Yeah,
I
we've been
I remember
doing
Bill talking
that.
about that at Nationals now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. So I've been keeping track of statistics. Again, I'm very detail oriented, probably slightly on OCD end. But I've been keeping track of statistics and it's gone up every time. Like I think we're at 67 or 68% of out of town players for this tournament. And I
And for
feel
the
like,
first tournament, it was the opposite. It was
yeah,
67, 68% of the players were
yeah,
local, and then the smaller portion was out of town players.
yeah.
Yep.
There's definitely a good amount coming from Connecticut, but I mean
Yeah.
Philly, Long Island, and
We have
then
Arizona
Yeah.
come into this one. We have
Jack Boy.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have and then Carla is coming too.
Yep. And Emily.
And Emily
Yeah.
Fishman. Emily Fishman is Florida now, though. Actually, I
Now.
got to pick her
Yeah.
up from the airport and
Where's
drive her
Carla
back.
from?
Carla, so I always get super confused, and I've told her this. She likes to be ambiguous. I want to say she is Arizona. For a
That's
long time, I thought she was Cleveland, but I think she is Arizona.
yeah. And
I feel
then
like I might have seen her on like the Cactus Dodgeball IG page.
yep. Yeah, there's a couple players coming from California too. Morgan East is coming out. Michael Macchio is also traveling from the West Coast. So shout out to all of the people traveling.
Charlie
I
Dang,
think it
too.
was,
I don't know where Charlie Dang is,
yeah,
but
Charlie.
he's
It's
here. Yeah.
Portland, I think, is his home base technically, Portland, Oregon. But it's the link, I think, of both tournaments, like helped encourage some of those players to make the trip out, which has been kind of great.
Yeah.
Even players like Matt Levine from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, really excited to have him as a captain as well. We still love you, Sean, but
Sean got injured. Well,
Yeah.
he's been injured. He just keeps on making it worse. So
oh,
Yeah.
he's at his tipping point right now. Um, has there been any changes between the first throwdown and the throwdown that you guys are throwing this weekend?
significant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our first throwdown, actually, yeah, I just want to take like a quick second and do a huge shout out to Jess. So our first throwdown was streamed. Um, and Jess was like super stressed about it. And I told her, you know what, don't worry. We're probably gonna have like 3 viewers, if that. This is just a trial run. Just see how it goes. And the stream was, I mean, not great. It went it went down, like it was in and out. There was nothing on it. It was literally probably just the camera streaming just one court. The camera probably fell a couple times, like the stream kept cutting out. And Jess like looked at that and was like, you know what, this is not a great product. And she really stepped it up.
Yeah.
Like the stream last at BDL 3 was amazing.
Yeah,
Huge.
I
Yeah.
remember watching that back after the fact we played.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I want to say like she took a lot of like her I know her she's been talking a lot with Mitch and getting a lot of pointers from
Mhm.
that. So we're really excited to have Mitch here with us and streaming this one because I think we can learn a lot from him and just keep improving.
And
But
along with Jess, also Jess's husband Matt has been a huge help
yeah,
with running a lot of that tech at the throwdowns too. But I think just in terms of operations, it's gotten a lot smoother. The
yeah,
first throwdown was run like mainly off of my iPad. We had no speakers, we had no overhead audio, but we've made significant improvements. We have like a whole audio setup. Shout out Alec and Marcos who have helped us a ton with that. Kate gave us some like time tournament audio pointers. So we've been able to make a lot of improvements in just the efficiency for running a lot of the bits and pieces as well.
yeah. Like to the timed audio too, I started adding in court announcements for each specific team. So it would be like next up on this court is this. So like people would hear on the overhead that hey, your team is playing, like get over there.
Uh-huh.
Rather than everyone kind of gathering at the TV or like looking on their phones, there's an overhead announcement announcing where your team is supposed to be next and who's reffing. Um, We also have court kits for each court, so that if there is anything that you need, like cards, pens, like a towel in case someone, whatever. But each court has a court kits for quick setup and for anything that you might need. But yeah, like I think we've just kind of streamlined everything to be faster and more organized.
Yeah, definitely ran very efficiently for sure. And are you guys having commentators this weekend?
We are. We are. I made a whole schedule. Yeah, we are having commentators. It's gonna be I say this every time, but it's gonna be our biggest and best tournament yet, and it's just gonna keep getting better every time. But yeah, we do have commentators, and again, we're gonna be streamed on Dodgeball Live, so super excited.
We have some fun. Mitch has some really fun stuff for the
Yeah.
stream too, which will be really great. He's
Yeah.
previewed some of it to us, and it's going to be awesome.
I
I
think
saw a little sneak peek and it does look
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know if he was able to get it to work, but I think he's changing some of the, that background music that is usually on for USA tournaments. He might be changing it to be a little bit more Nickelodeon themed, which if he can get that to work, that would be super cool. So really
Hell
excited.
yeah. So obviously it sounds like we have another showdown, like Showdown 5 planned. Any goals for that?
Um,
Ooh, Throwdown 5? That's a great question. I mean, I would I would say I would love to go bigger, but I don't know how much bigger we can go with our time constraints, with it being a
right.
one-day tournament, because 16 teams is pushing what
It
you
is
can get done
pushing it.
in one day, right? Our games are starting at 9 on Sunday, and we're hoping to wrap by 5, depending on how, efficiently we can get through some of the elimination. So would love to go bigger if we can, but if we go bigger, we would maybe have to sacrifice, some of our after party time, or if we find a bigger venue, we could do a little bit more, but that still complicates, the bracket. Um, yeah, that's a great question though.
Great
Yeah,
question.
we've been kind of grappling too back and forth a little bit with bring your own team tournaments. Um, I think, but it would be under a different brand. It wouldn't be under Throwdown. Um, but that has been put on the table. Cloth tournament has been put on the table. But yeah, I think bigger is always ideal, but tough with certain restrictions in mind.
Yeah.
I'm not farting, it's my chair. I swear.
You could have blamed Kobe too, but I don't think he's in the room with you.
Sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, 16 teams, that's already a lot of teams, but I think it's really cool how you guys have the throwdown. Long Island has semi-pro, Philly has the Beast Coast and everything, like the dodgeball. And also, talk to Frankie today.
It's
Don't
fall,
listen to me.
Oh, I
It,
heard.
it,
right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's from my phone.
Yep.
It was the
No,
Unless
year
it
it was
before.
no sting last year. The dodgeball was no sting last year.
really
Yeah.
Yeah.
the year before. So I missed last year. That was
It
Caden's
was Yeah, it
bit.
was foam in 2023, no
Hmm.
sting in 2024, and it was announced as no
Oh,
sting for this year, but I've heard that it's switching back to foam.
oh, okay. I like that. I'm going, and also people who are watching, it's not sold out, so go buy your tickets.
Ooh.
Yep. I'm registered. I'll be there.
Hell yeah. What is some positive feedback that you girls have gotten after hosting these tournaments?
I think in general, just how organized it is, which makes me feel good because again, I am slightly OCD. Um, yeah, I think everyone and running on time, I think is another
Yeah.
big one. That if we say we're gonna end at this time, we do. Like I've been known to shave off some time
Hmm.
between courts. If I see all the courts are done with no blocking before that 3 minute time, I'll shave off. Like I don't even know if anyone noticed, but I'll shave off like 20 seconds, 30 seconds here just to ensure that we're running on time.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think with Throwdown 2, like the Throwdown 2, 3, 4, we got a lot of positive feedback about our after party venue. We switched our venue between our first Throwdown and the second Throwdown, and we got a lot of positive response about Roundhead, and we've loved working with them. They've been super supportive. They've been really responsive when we've been organizing with them, helping figure out what time we can be there, what space we can use. So it's been great to work alongside them since they're in the same complex as the venue.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute walk from our venue. And they are also actually huge shout out to them because they are staying open later for us on
Yeah.
Sunday to accommodate our players. So everyone should definitely go. They've got some really good food, good
Yep.
drinks, but it's like a really, really chill environment. Ryan, were you
Yep.
there last time? I think no, right?
No.
Yeah, you guys had to drive
Yeah.
home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
they do
it's
have some
good.
really good pizza.
Yeah.
I don't really go to after parties anymore unless it's like out of the state and I'm not going home that day.
Mhm.
Mm,
But yeah, it's a little tough for me.
Yeah.
What's it like to run a tournament and also play in it at the same time?
not fun.
I can
It
imagine.
It's not fun. So I've done it twice. I did it for BDL 2 and BDL 3. And it is, I mean, yeah, it's not a good time. It's mentally and physically exhausting. Having to run the tournament, making sure that it's running on time, but then also trying to play like, perform as an athlete and be a good teammate. Like my team would be doing huddles and I'd be like, I can't, I gotta go catch me up. I gotta go like input scores or I have to go do
Yeah.
this. So I don't think I was present at a single team huddle after games. Um, yeah, and I think by the time the tournament ended, I just had to go sit at a table at Roundhead by myself and just decompress for like 5 minutes. Super overwhelming. It's a lot for sure.
I have not run a dual role, so I didn't play in BDL Throwdown 1. I was 3 months postpartum. I was not ready to play at that level yet. And then for this Throwdown 4, I volunteered to be day of run of show person and kind of do the undertaking with scores, anything that needed to be caught up on, running audio. So just taking that off of Abby's plate so she can enjoy being a player at the Throwdown without having like that dual role in there. So yeah.
Yeah, like I
Hmm.
couldn't even get into a groove as a player. Like I played like absolute dog shit for the first like 3 rounds because I like my head was split in two different directions.
Yeah, no, it's got to be tough for sure. And last question about the throwdown for this weekend. Will there be any BDL apparel to buy?
Yes. Limited, very, very limited quantities, but yes, we will also have balls for sale, that have the BDL logo. So I guess that counts as merch.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah.
will have
We'll
merch. We're
have
also
some so
maybe having a jersey auction, but that is not BDL related.
yep.
Oh yeah, true, true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have a small run of short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, and a hoodie. Shout out Saga for manufacturing those for us and Garrett Jacobowitz. We'll have some stickers too, but if there's demand there and we run out of certain sizes, we will always consider doing a reorder or re-up of that if the demand exists from the players that are there this weekend.
Okay, okay. Questions from the people. So we got a lot.
Oh
So
boy.
let's get into it. Question from Amanda Luce. Hold on. Claire, obviously your game speaks for itself, but how did you get the confidence to take on corner even when playing with boys who tend to take slash stay in corner?
I think she's talking specifically about semi-pro. Because in
Carlos? No, I'm
yeah.
playing.
No, in I think really I have started doing that in league. And even in Minnesota when I was playing mixed with a Canadian team and they all play together and they were comfortable just keeping me over in the corner. I've learned a lot like playing against a bunch of really good players in Boston. So again, like Decker playing against and opposite him, Bo playing against and opposite him, Armando playing like opposite him in leagues and in open gyms, has kind of just enabled me or kind of empowered me a little bit more to feel comfortable shifting into that position. Um, and I try to play a little bit more aggressively, especially in mixed versus women's, because that's kind of what you need sometimes in terms of dynamic. And I think at one point I was just like, I'm just going to try it. And if I fail, I fail. And if I, succeed, I succeed. And sometimes I stay there and sometimes we switch things up. But it took a little bit of just like exposure therapy, I think, to be comfortable doing that. And I know Abby does the same thing in mixed too in league. She'll often play left corner, which is the same position that I'm playing a lot of the time for league. Yeah.
Question for Abby from Amanda. Do you have a preferred position on the court?
No. No, I don't. I think a lot of newer players tend to think that starting in corner is easier or the best. Yeah, and well, I say that because I think the corner has a ball at all times. So you can either use that ball offensively or defensively. And so I think having a ball makes a lot more play, especially newer players, feel more comfortable. Um, and in the corners, you're always guaranteed a ball. But no, I think I used to think that I preferred corner, but I don't have a preferred position anymore. I kind of think I can play anywhere depending on the team that I'm playing for, like where they need me.
I like that answer. I don't like playing middle, but I'll play anywhere else but middle.
I think, but in the middle, you get to be sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I guess. In
Fun.
Seattle, I was
Mm.
playing middle a decent amount, and I look over and I see like Nick and Connor. I'm like, shit, I'm in the middle.
The middle is also so much easier for play calling. That's like my only qualm with like when I am playing corner. It's so much harder to call plays.
I definitely think it's really important for any player really to go from left corner to right corner to inside either corner or middle because I think you get to learn that position and you also get to learn other positions by playing like corner. Like, oh, okay, cool. I need to really protect my corner if I'm playing inside or in the middle. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of little things. Question from Mackenzie Wilson. What hold on, sorry, someone here. Question from Mackenzie Wilson. What is the most crucial skill to have as a female dodgeball player? Let's start with Abby.
I think, well, when it comes to playing mixed, I think kind of just knowing how to support your players and but not being afraid to take a ball. Like oftentimes I think I see a lot of female players, a ball rolls to them and they immediately hand it off. Um, and I've definitely played with teams where the guys are like, why are you handing these balls off? Like you are just as much of a valuable player as any of the rest of us. And so kind of knowing how to be a good teammate on a mixed team as a female player, while also adding value to that team is really important. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it does. Claire?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to the same answer from Amanda's question. For me, it's confidence and being okay with being uncomfortable on the court sometimes. I think sometimes you have to like fake it till you make it and like believe in yourself and believe in the people that are like cheering at you from the sidelines. So I think especially as like a female dodgeball player, particularly in like a mixed setting, whether it be a tournament or a league, sometimes the like expectation or the anticipation can be like, oh, well, like this person's last, you're just gonna save them for last and then try to like pick them off. Because like a lot of times you'll get like a lot of players in and just like one woman standing left and being able to like be confident in that situation, like handle the pressure and try to like make the best decisions. I think is pretty important for any player, but I think as a female player too that's trying to stand out or like establish themselves and just overall develop better skills. Because if you're standing there on the court just expecting to die and like get out, you're not going to improve your own game.
Yeah.
So like you have to be comfortable like going for the catch or trying to make a play or making something happen.
Question from Yanni from Long Island. How did you guys build such a strong female community and how often do you guys practice?
I don't know if we don't really practice together.
No, I wouldn't say that we practice. I would say the most that we practiced together as females was in preparation for Beast Coast. So that was really fun. It was yeah, getting the Boston girls together and practicing together. Like one of our practices, we did females versus males for the Beast Coast teams. And I thought, I mean, maybe the guys think differently, but I thought we held our own against the guys, and it was kind of awesome, like playing together and practicing together like that. But no, something I think we've always been continuing to try to grow more females in dodgeball, but it's tough.
Yeah. I think
It-
a lot of the female like or the women like the female player community that's in Boston too. There's a ties back to Royale for
Yeah.
sure. Amanda, Sammy, Mackenzie, Kate, they all played with Royale. Hots, they all came from Royale, so they had that kind of strong bond in there. And then they are known to hype up other women during open gyms and those like practices when you're playing with newer players. So it's nice to see them working on some of that community building too.
Yeah, like I never had the chance to play with Amanda. Like I've played with Sammy before, but I've never had the chance to play with Amanda or Mackenzie. And being their teammate was just so incredibly fun. Like I mean, just from one day of playing with them, like so many inside jokes, so many like great memories. Like those girls are just really like fun to be around.
Hell yeah, shout out Royale. They're all goats. Their jerseys are sick.
The
And
new
Amanda and
ones.
I,
Oh yeah.
yes, and Amanda and I, we played in two tournaments, uh, probably going back like over 6 or 7 years, but only two tournaments together, 2-0.
Wow.
So watch out for NPCs this weekend. Also, I heard Stephanie Decker killed it in that practice, guys versus girls.
Stephanie Decker. I like to call him Deckerino, but Stephanie
Decker.
Decker works. He did.
Uh,
No, honestly, he was a great coach during that practice. He very much took a step back, like wasn't really throwing balls unless he had to. Like if he was the last one left, he would, but he was very much like on the court, his presence was there. He was coaching us, offering advice. He was saying like, but not in a way where it was like, you're doing this wrong. It was like, well, what do you guys think is going wrong? And what if we try this or do this? So super supportive. Shout out Stephanie.
love to hear it. Question from Ben Stolfi. When's Abby's next nut shot montage release?
Um, no, I that's a project that's fallen to the wayside, unfortunately.
Maybe
But
we could bring it back for Christmas because it can be
we
like the
could.
Nutcracker.
That was supposed to be my
Yeah.
Christmas gift to the community, but I never got around to finishing it. Ben
Question
Stolpe
from
made it though.
he made it?
He did. Yeah, he at our last open gym, he I don't even know. I threw a ball at him on a counter and he like jumped and spread his legs and I just watched it go at him in slow motion.
There's a great one from last night's league too that we need to pull Abby that was on against Kyle.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anything will ever beat Jeans hitting John Gatlin in the face. Oh man. Question from Vicky from Connecticut. What is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to encore play?
Oh, mine and Lovey can attest to this from when Lovey and I first started playing together competitively. Mine is like, and it was my biggest weakness too when I was first a player. It's like screening your teammates and not knowing when to stay in your lanes. Like, that's the worst feeling is like accidentally getting your teammate out because you dodged and then they were right behind you. So the on-court awareness is probably my biggest pet peeve right now. It could change, in a couple of weeks, but right now that's my biggest one.
Abby?
I don't know if I have like a specific one. I think no, I do. I do. It's
Cheaters.
no, it's smell. I can't stand.
Smell.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, I am known like if I have a teammate that smells, I will tell that teammate like you need to go put deodorant on. If you are playing with me on my side of the court and I smell you, we're gonna have a problem. Yeah, yeah,
Because
Yeah,
it's
Abby
I always
doesn't
bring spray with
sweat,
me because of
so
that.
you what?
Bring spray with me because of that. So it'll be like body over, obviously, because you're playing dodgeball, and then like Old Spice swagger. Be like, that's a crazy smell, but at least he's trying.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very sensitive to smells. Like so if somebody walks by me and they smell, like I will involuntarily gag. And I'm like not trying to be rude. I can't like If you smell, don't come near me. I can't deal with it. Like I shower before I play in tournaments or go to
Yeah.
open gyms. Like open gym is like 3 minutes or 4 minutes down the street from me, and I'm late almost every time because I'm showering before I go. Like
Gotta give them like a little tree, like
what?
a car freshener, the little trees.
Right? Like
Question from Nick Rooney. What inspired slash motivated you girls to start playing dodgeball?
Don't know if there was anything particularly for me that like inspired me to start playing dodgeball. It was just a friend being like, "Hey, I'm gonna play dodgeball. Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Okay." And I was never like particularly into like throwing sports, so it just seemed like something fun to do. Um, but again, I think it was like Kate that like got me into like inspired me to like keep going with it and like, take it more seriously or like get into like a more competitive side of it.
Abby?
Yeah, no, mine's like a little bit more of a sad story, but I was in a long-term relationship for a long time. Like it was like 7-ish years. And when that ended, I was kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself. And so I joined like an adult social sports league, Volo, to kind of get my mind off of things. And I've met some really great people, but I've never played a throwing sport. So dodgeball was kind of my first exposure to that. And yeah, and I just haven't looked back. Shout out Danny Stein.
Shout out Danny. Question from Garrett Lee. Hit that shit, Garrett. How do we get how do we get more sponsors into the game of dodgeball?
Huh.
I
That's
think
a
he
Bo
wants to know how
question.
he can get free shit from you guys, pretty much.
Sponsors, I think, obviously the bigger that we get, like, well, that's kind of Bo's domain. But the bigger that we get, um, the more I think that we can get recognized and kind of offer more to the companies who are willing to sponsor us. But I know like our league night, for example, we go to Remnant Brewing after their satellite branch after league, and they've been phenomenal with kind of doing like I guess it's like a sponsorship. Yeah, like they're our sponsor bar. They give us like 25% off of food, and we just go and hang out after league for like a couple hours.
Yep.
But yeah, the bigger that we get, we're hoping to build more partnerships and more connections, especially with local companies around the area. So
Got anything to add, Claire?
I was just say I think some of it too is just like asking. Like we asked, and Abby took the initiative on this. Abby asked Elementi, like
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like
from the last
the
tournament.
electrolytes. Yeah, she just was like, "Hey, we have this tournament coming up. Is there anything you guys can send to us and we can give it to our players?" And they sent us like 100 packets of like 8 count each of like the electrolytes. So I think as again, like we have a consistent player base and even I think too with like streaming and recording and there's visibility on like socials. So we've been driving and Abby and Bo have been at the forefront of it, like recording open gyms and recording leagues and getting like visibility on our YouTube. As we're more visible through like our social channels, it drives a little bit more initiative for some of the sponsorships as well. And we've been seeing a lot of great dodgeball clips recently, like circulating, like Demonte, Eli Hashimoto had like a huge clip from Seattle
That was
last
crazy. So
weekend.
I was right next to him when that
Yeah.
happened, and I looked over and I'm like, why would you even think to catch that with your offhand? But he did, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, I mean, hey, the worst thing they could tell you guys is no, anyways, right?
exactly. Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, Grip Spritz did the same thing. They sent us like a couple
Mhm.
bottles of like sample for shoes to maintain that like grippiness on the court. But yeah.
When my wife and I got married 2 years ago, we did the same thing where we reached out to the Eagles, the Yankees, and the Knicks, and the Eagles sent us something, and so did the Yankees. It was
Nice.
like I think a popcorn and then like a letter or something like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want Lego to sponsor us. That would be my dream.
Oh,
A little Lego dodgeball court set.
Yeah.
Or like a BDL logo Lego.
Yeah.
Be cool too.
that'd be cool. Another question from Vicky. What has their favorite throwdown been so far and why?
I mean, I liked the throwdown three because my team won, so that was pretty cool. But I have some nostalgia for like the throwdown one though, right? It was small. It was like our first time. And even for it being our first time, it being small and like knowing how much it's grown now, like it was
Yeah.
still a well-run tournament and we got really positive reviews from it. So I look back at that one fondly, I think.
Yeah. I always say my favorite one is the last one, because it's just we make small improvements every time. So post Sunday, my new favorite one will be this one.
The
Um,
fifth one, and the
yeah,
next one, and the next one.
the next one and the next one. It's just I think we just keep getting better every time. Like we really take everyone's feedback into consideration. Um, like it worked out this time. Like Frankie had a lot of great feedback to give us, but he
Yep.
was just saying that there's a lot of downtime for certain teams, especially when there's a showdown in between. And when we broke it down and we looked at it, we were like, well, he's right. People like the showdown, but like for those that don't and are just watching, it is a lot of sitting time. And so what we did instead was we factored in playtime for everyone, instead of just those people who were playing in the showdown, that 1v1. And we added placement matches this time. Oh, we
Yep.
have to tell the captains that actually. We might have
Yeah, I'll
tell
chat
the
them about
captain.
it.
Yeah, we got to text you guys to let you guys know that if you lose your first round, do not leave. Because
Okay.
that yeah.
Yeah.
So we
But
do have to.
some of the improvements too is so we now have 6 rounds of round robin instead of five.
Yeah.
And then we have a scheduled 30-minute break for like lunch. So in the email that I sent out last week, I was like, hey, our planned break between when round robin ends and playoffs begins is 1:30 to 2. So if you're planning on like having food arrive to the venue or anything like that, or someone's going to bring you food, like that's going to be the time in which to like schedule that window. So I was giving that like heads up and advice too, I think is going to curb a lot of hanger that people might have as well.
Yeah, but Frankie, like, I think we always stress that we want this feedback, but
Yeah.
Frankie actually followed through and gave some really constructive feedback, which was
Yeah.
helpful.
Good to hear. Question from Garrett Jacobowitz. If Bo wins on Saturday, the question shouldn't be if, it's when.
It's
When
when.
Bo wins on Saturday, can the next throwdown be no sting so he can win that too?
Absolutely not.
No.
I
That's
thought that was gonna be absolutely yes.
absolutely
No.
not. Boston, I don't know. I think for a while, I think East Coast had the reputation that East Coast is a no sting coast.
Hmm.
Do we have any East Coast leagues that play no sting? I think
A
New,
lot of them have transitioned to foam,
oh,
and I think the ones that still do rubber in like Big Apple, they use big ball, like 8.5, I think some of them. I actually don't know if Big Apple still has like an 8.5. They used to have a Sunday 8.5, like rubber, like old school,
yeah.
but I think most within the last like year. So from when the USA poll went out to now, all of the leagues have transitioned to foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
Also,
right.
Philly has
So,
a quad league now too.
Yeah.
so Connecticut was no sting for a while, and we transitioned to foam. We do sometimes play no sting, like we played no sting last night. There is SFAC out in Rhode Island, but that's more of like a fun. So it's called Super Fun Activities Club. So it's like extremely rec stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
can't really think of anything that's strictly rubber.
Yeah,
I think
Volo in Boston for their outdoor league still
outdoor.
does no sting at Trum Field because foam is going to just get destroyed on a blacktop. So they still do rubber for that one.
Yeah, someone had asked if we would buy, I can't remember, someone recently asked me this, if BDL would buy no sting balls and have, I was like, who are you talking to right now? Like, what is
Bo.
going on? Right? I was like, do I look like Bo?
It was a secret anonymous Instagram account. It was actually Bo.
Yeah, it was literally Bo trying
Bo.
to ask himself.
But yeah, no sting.
I think it's slowly dying, which is sad because I love no sting because that's what I started playing, and I hated foam for the longest time. I would refuse to play it, and now I really enjoy playing foam, and I'm slowly like, yeah, I could enjoy not playing no sting anymore, but I still have that itch.
I think there's also just a higher, like I personally hate playing mixed no sting, especially. There's just a higher, like I end up bruised. I mean, like when like I ended up, I think this was last year. Perry still makes fun of me for it. Like he was calling my thigh a strawberry. He called it a strawberry on the stream.
What's like the famous photo of Abby just like on the ground with her arms and her legs up is from Mixed No Sting.
Mixed no
I
sting.
I also took like a when we were playing as Atomic X, I took like a no sting ball from Brandon Kelly at like point blank in the face, and he was immediately was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. I'm good. Like, don't worry about it."
Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah, I
I
feel
always end up bruised. Like Chris Wheeler, like threw a ball so hard it pancaked into my thigh, and it didn't leave like a round ball. It was like it pancaked. It was like a huge
Yeah.
oh my
whole thigh.
God.
And then like the next game, like 2 games later, Shota did the same thing to my left thigh. So I looked like I got beat.
Yeah, I mean those balls too. Some of them are so super inflated, and some of them are a
Yeah.
weapon. Like at nationals, this last nationals, I had a ball in the huddle, and as soon as I got it from like off the court in the huddle, I'm like, boys, I got this throw. Like this is like a 6-inch ball. Like I'm putting the ball through someone's chest. Another question from Garrett Lee. What's the biggest success story of BDL so far?
I think that the biggest success story of BDL so far was the first league getting through and getting done. That was um so much effort on like the back end in terms of we did remix for the first season, like the first league. So waiting out the teams, trying to get everything organized, um, venue, insurance, kind of what everything was going to look like. I think that was like the biggest accomplishment and like the thing that I'm like the proudest of that we've done so far. That's kind of like the champion for me because that was what everything was really leading up to was getting our own league in place for our player population up here.
Yeah, mine would probably be the last tournament. Yeah.
Question from Jackson Lamar. Do you think aliens have zodiac signs? IDK, just curious.
I mean, wouldn't their zodiacs be different though, depending on if they're in a different galaxy? Because like their star systems would be different.
Yes. I don't know.
Also, it's
I
by
don't know.
I don't know. It's also zodiac signs are like by the month and year that you're born, right?
Yeah, it's where the stars
Oh.
are in the sky based off the month and year and like the placement of the stars. So like
I
if
feel like no.
aliens are from, well, but if they're from a different galaxy,
Right. So it would be a
like
different, yeah.
they could have their own system and they would also have their own date and time system, but maybe there's a lot of ifs there and a lot of you know.
This is like a leading question because now I'm thinking like we think aliens are aliens, right? Do aliens think that we're aliens?
Oh, for sure.
Probably.
Question from Marissa Page. I don't think that's her last name, but Marissa from Philly. And shout out Marissa and Meredith. I didn't shout them out before they're playing on Invader Zim this weekend. Question from Marissa though. What's the best Nickelodeon show?
Oh,
Danny Phantom.
It's a
No,
good
Fairly
one.
Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents.
That's a good one too.
I have a soft spot for Chalk Zone, which unfortunately did not make the cut for team
So that was
theme.
impossible to design.
I know, but
It
that was
just
probably
sucked.
it's so like niche, like nobody knows it. But I really enjoyed that one, like when I was younger. I liked Chalk Zone and I really liked Zoe 101 also. But Zoe 101 like eventually kind of like
Ooh,
jumped the ship, but
Drake and
good one.
Josh is also a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a
Really
good
odd.
one.
Ned's the Classified is also another good one.
Oh,
We should have
that's my one.
used
That's my
that.
one.
Oh my God. That one would have been such an easy jersey logo to do.
No, I thought about it, but it's really hard. I wouldn't have known what to design.
Oh, hold up. Coconut's head.
Coco, yeah,
That's it. That's all you need.
that's true.
Bow with the coconut head hair.
Oh, yeah.
On the sleeve. Yeah, yeah. So the
Could you
BDL
imagine
logo on one side.
Kenny with that wig, with coconut to his
Yeah,
wig? If
that's
Tenny
so
doesn't
funny.
show up this weekend with a Jimmy Neutron wig, I'm not letting him into the building. He
I hope he
better,
watches this.
right?
He said he was gonna do it.
He said he was going to do it, so if he doesn't do it, he's not playing.
Damn. Hope he brings it. Question from Nate Luce. What's your pick, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Car-
Nickelodeon.
Cartoon Network for me.
No, I thought I was Cartoon Network girl, but Nickelodeon for sure.
Yeah, for me it's Foster's Home drives it over for
That show
Cartoon
was good.
Network. Yeah.
Another good one. I got two questions from Frankie. What's something you've really wanted to try for a tournament or league, but you haven't yet?
Cloth. I really want to do cloth. Yeah. I just think it'd be fun, especially with how fast cloth is growing on the East Coast. I think, we should take this opportunity and get the leagues together or get the organizations together and see if cloth is, sustainable in its growth on the East Coast.
For me, one of the things I really want to do for league right now, our league is like a 10 games a night round robin. We don't have the space to accommodate what I want to do right now, but I sometimes go down to Philly for work, and one time I was able to drop into Philly Dodgeball's league, and I really love one of the formats that they're doing for a league that I jumped in on in December, where it was an hour of playtime for a two-team matchup, and it was like first to 7 games or like 1 hour, whichever came first. That was the winner for the night, and I thought that that was super fun. I really enjoyed that format. It only works when you have so many teams with 2 courts, which is why we haven't been able to kind of explore that option. But I thought that that was great, and I've also been really interested in wanting to talk to Frankie and Sam Sayward more about the open league that they just ran in Philly, which seemed kind of similar to like our open gyms and also Atlanta's team of the week trackings,
Hmm.
where they just kind of mixed the teams up every week and then kept individual stats on the players in terms of their win-loss ratio. So I think that could also be something that's cool to explore down the line as like an alternate league format.
I forget who mentioned this. I think it might have been Bo on Kim's podcast. Shout out to Rushdown. Where in Minnesota Open Gym, they just threw like a million balls on the court and everything was in play. And even if you went out of bounds for a ball, like you were still live, so you could
Mhm.
still get thrown at.
That's cool.
Another question from Frankie though. Oh hell yeah. What's the next big goal for BDL as a league?
I think for me personally would be kind of bringing different branded tournaments. Um
Mhm.
and like I love the draft tournament, but I want to see if we could do like maybe an open and a women's division with a mixed division of bring your own team. Like maybe once a year, just having BDL host that and seeing who'd be down to come out. And hoping that we've been putting out a good enough product that it would encourage players to come out. Because I also think, somewhat biased because I'm not even from Boston, but that Boston's a great city to visit and hang out and be in. So that's definitely one of my goals is to host like a bigger, larger scale tournament.
Yeah. For me, it's similar. I want to, and we've talked, as a group about, offering different types of tournaments and doing different names and ideas of tournaments. I also want to continue to like grow our league aspect because I think that's super crucial for like our local player population and growing the sport locally. So right now we're at 7 teams for our second season of the league as well. I'd love to be able to grow it to, 8 teams, and then continue on from there. Eventually, I'd love to also have, 2 nights a week potentially where we could, either introduce a different league format, introduce a cloth league, if the interest was there, even if it's a smaller, not, as many teams. I think being able to explore what different things we can do locally, I think is also one of the goals that we're kind of working towards.
Question from Meredith. I believe this is going to be for you, Claire. How do the two of you balance running BDL while also traveling to play slash raising Julian? Maybe it's for Abby too. I don't know.
I mean, fair jokes.
Abby's
I'm his
his
second
third favorite.
favorite.
I think third favorite.
What did you say?
I said second or third favorite. I I attribute a lot of, being able to balance dodgeball and, being a parent to acclimating Julian from a really young age to just like different environments. My kind of approach to, having him involved and be around has never been like, I don't really try to ask people to like watch him. Like he will be content for the most part in his playpen or in the stroller as long as he's nearby. But if people want to interact with him and like hang out with him, I'm usually, pretty cool with that. Shout out Lovey's mom who just like babysat Julian for the entire Throwdown 3 and then put him down for a nap in the middle of the day.
No.
No, it was crazy. He was lying in the crib, like wrapped up in her like coat, just like lying in the crib, taking a nap for like 2 hours. It was awesome. Um, but
Schedule.
yeah, it's been it's been fun because he also like learned how to catch a ball recently. So like he caught a ball for the first time like 2 weeks ago. Um, so it's just a lot of, balance and being able to there's a lot of community support and the community like is great with, having him around, but my intention is never to like force anyone to interact with him. Um, yeah. So it's tricky, but with, time and practice, it's kind of come. And like I'm also a first time parent, so I don't have all the answers, but it's been fun to try to like figure out and, watch him grow up a little bit. And he's a little bit more independent now too. So
We got a question live from Bo, literally live.
yeah.
He said, if you guys are still recording, ask Abby and Claire, why do I get trolled all the goddamn time? And can we pick someone else?
He brings it on himself, honestly.
He does.
Like
So
he's
we
the
can't
one
pick
that
anyone else.
what?
We're not picking anyone else.
No. I mean, it's also his name, like Bone Leaf
Theodore.
hands, Theodore.
Yeah.
Well, I was sure, Theodore, Boasting. Like, I just feel like he's got a really easy name to,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
I feel like
It's
some other people have had their moments. Like there was definitely a moment where Danny was like getting roasted.
I feel
But
like for a while I was getting roasted.
yeah, yeah. But
Bo, they troll you because they love you.
Oof, don't nah. No, but he has been a
I
pretty integral part of BDL
yeah.
and Boston dodgeball in general. So it is out of love.
I mean, my entire women's team on Saturday is just designed to troll Bo. The team name is Bo's Out Again.
I was actually looking at the mixed teams yesterday and I saw that and I was like, oh my God, they're
Well, that
doing it
was
again.
that was Amanda's original team.
From the
Yeah.
Throwdown 2. So I'm borrowing jerseys from players in
Oh, let's
Boston
go.
for the women to wear for women's division on Saturday. Yeah.
It's funny too because he makes like almost the same faces when he throws. It's scrunched up, so like we've all turned them into different stickers. And
I don't have my water bottle up here. I have a sticker on my water
Oh, yeah,
bottle.
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we'll just like occasionally react to things with that sticker.
And this is the last question. It's not really a question, though. It's more of a statement from Meredith. Ryan, it seems like you're overcoming your biggest fear, biggest challenge with podcasting.
Talking to
Talking
girls.
to
Talking to
girls.
girls.
Talking to
Talking to
girls.
girls.
I'm doing it.
I know it's twice
Proud of
in
you.
1 week now.
I know. I was telling everyone yesterday, I'm like, guys, I'm having Abby and Claire on tomorrow. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, I am. Here we are.
Yeah.
You did it.
That is it, though. Do we have any closing thoughts, any shout outs?
No, this is perfect timing because Emily just texted me and she landed, so I
Yeah.
gotta go get her from the airport.
Yeah. I do just want to shout out our Boston dodgeball community real quick. We have players who aren't even involved in our like the six of us is the BDL like primary committee who do so much for us. Lovey, Yiwei. I know I already started at Alec and Marcos, John, Gatlin, Garrett Lee. So a lot of them have been really integral. Even Dave Roy from Worcester, like when we were
Hell
right
yeah.
getting started, like huge because he used to run a league out there. So he was huge in,
Yeah.
helping us get started. So all of those players specifically have been a huge support.
Another one too that I think often goes unrecognized is Kyle Hood.
Yep.
Every league, every night, he is without fail one of the first ones to volunteer to ref.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
just our community is so amazing, so supportive. It's we do this because we love the sport, and we do this because we love our community. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is it from me. Shout out all my teammates for this upcoming weekend. Shout out Flight, shout out NPC, shout out Invader Zim, and thank you, ladies, for hopping on.
yes,
Thanks
thank
for
you. This
having
was
us.
fun.
Anytime. Peace.
Bye.